Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of the 21st of January 1972. The title is The Easy Method to Become a Constant Yogi. That is, the easy method to become a constant yogi. Just as you switch something on and turn it off in 1 second, in the same way, are you able to take the support of the body in 1 second and become bodiless and stay beyond the body in 1 second? You have to practice coming into the body in 1 moment and going beyond the body in the next moment. This is called the Karmatit stage. You will experience this as though it is in your own hands to adopt whatever type of costume you wish, whenever you wish. When there is a need for it, you adopt the costume, and when there is no need, you become separate from the body. You should have such an experience through the costume of this body. Whilst performing actions, the experience should be such that it is as though you have adopted a costume and are doing your work. As soon as you finish your work, you then become detached from the costume. Through developing this practice, you have to experience the detachment of the soul from the body, even whilst walking and moving around. Who is able to practice this? Only those who are completely detached from the things of the body and the relations of the body, the physical world, and all the things that are connected with the body. Only when there isn't the slightest attachment can you be detached. If you do not have lightness even in your subtle thoughts, if you cannot be detached, then you will not be able to experience that detachment. So, the Maharathis now have to practice this. You should have the practice of complete detachment. When you souls stay in this stage, other souls will also have the experience of detachment. They will also realize this, just as at the time of sitting in yoga, many souls have this experience. They feel, this one who is conducting meditation is in a stage of detachment. In the same way, whilst walking and moving around, they will have visions of the angelic stage. Whilst sitting here, all souls who are to come close in your golden-aged family will have visions of both your angelic form and your future royal form at the same time. Just as in the beginning you had visions of both the perfect form of Brahma and Sri Krishna at the same time, in the same way, others will have visions of your double form. As you develop this stage of detachment number-wise, they will also have double visions of your form. When you fully develop this practice, you will begin to receive news from everywhere. Just as in the beginning, all the souls who were to come close had visions, in the same way, they will also have visions now. Whilst sitting here, your subtle form will do service in an unlimited way. This is the service that now remains to be done. All of you saw the example in the Sakar form. Everything is to happen number-wise according to the drama. The more you stabilize yourself in the angelic form, the more service your angelic form will do. How long does it take for the soul to tour around the whole world? So now, your subtle form will also do service. However, Only those who are in this stage of detachment and stabilized in their angelic stage will do this. You had visions in the beginning. You used to have visions of both the perfect stage and the effort-making stage through the angelic form. Just as you used to have separate visions of Sakar Brahma and angelic Brahma, in the same way, many children will have visions of you. When the upheaval takes place, you will not be able to do any service through the physical body. The influence will also spread through this service. Just as in the beginning, the influence spread through visions, the visible and the invisible created the influence. In the same way, this service has to take place. Do you yourself have visions of your own perfect form? Now they have started to call out to the Shaktis. They don't call out as much to God now. The calling out to the Shaktis has now begun with great speed. So, you have to practice this every now and again. When you have developed this habit, you will feel a lot of happiness. In 1 second, the soul will become detached from the body and you will develop this habit. This is the habit you have to make now. At the present, there are 3 stages of making effort. Each of you is moving along according to your own capacity. What are those 3 stages? 1 is speaking, the second is churning, and the third is being absorbed. The majority are in the stage of speaking. Because of a lack of churning and being absorbed, the soul lacks willpower. By just speaking about something, the power of extroversion is visible, and this does not create an impact. You do churn, but churning whilst being introverted is lacking. You may be churning the points, but by churning each point, you should be able to extract the butter, that is, the essence of power through which power increases. You may have planned everything, but there isn't the decoration of all the powers that there should be. No matter how invaluable something may be, if you do not place it in a suitable place, you cannot recognize the value of that thing. In the same way, you may be churning knowledge, but you don't fill yourself with power through churning as much as you should. This is why, although you make a lot of effort, the result is very minute. You have very good zeal and enthusiasm in your mind when planning, but when you see the practical results, there is no longer imperishable zeal and enthusiasm in the mind. You do not have the constant stage of force that you should have. You are still ignorant of the experience of how to fill the self with power through churning. This is why you are not able to experience introversion and the attainment of supersensuous happiness. As long as you do not have the feeling of all attainments of supersensuous happiness, anything perishable will definitely attract you towards itself. So, at the present time, through the power of churning, you need to fill the soul with all the powers. Then, you will be able to maintain the stage of being absorbed, and your obstacles will be removed. A wave of obstacles comes when the force of spirituality is lacking. So, at present, Before the service through Shivratri, you must have the force to fill the self with power. You may be holding programs for yoga, but now you need to give classes whereby you can give souls the experience of power through yoga. On the basis of your practical power, you have to give power to others. Do not just think of plans for external service, but you need to pay full attention in all directions. Those who are instruments should think about in which aspect their garden is weak. You have to have a very strict vision on your garden in every way. You must make special time and finish those weaknesses. Because of the lack of the influence of the Shaktis, you become slack in every aspect whilst walking and moving along. This is why your preparations for destruction are sometimes very forceful and sometimes they become slack. When you do not have any force for establishment, how will you be able to fill destruction with force? In the beginning, you had so much intoxication of being a Shakti. You had a very strict vision on your own self. You didn't think much of the obstacles or of Maya. You had such strong intoxication. Now, you do not have such a strict vision on yourself. You need to pay attention to the philosophy of karma. According to your karma, you have to become number-wise. The numbers have to reduce through one reason or another, but even then, you still have to perform the task of giving power. You saw the Sakar form. When there was any such wave, Baba used to do special service and create special plans to give a current. Baba used to pay special attention to making weak souls powerful. Many souls also used to experience Baba making time at night and doing the service of giving a current to souls. So now you have to do special service of giving a current. You must become lighthouses and might houses and do this special service so that the influence of light and might spreads in all four directions. There is a need for this now. Someone wealthy would give special help to his close relatives and uplift them. In the same way, you have to give a special current to all the weak souls who are in connection or relationship with you. Acha. Each one of you is making effort number-wise according to your capacity, so that you constantly forget the consciousness of the body. The aim of your study is to become free from body consciousness and to become soul conscious. In order to be freed from body consciousness, the main power needed is to constantly maintain your original stage of respect. Then, body consciousness will continue to finish. In the original stage of respect, there is the awareness of the self, that is, the awareness of the soul. The original stage is knowing who I am. You have been given the different experiences of the stage of self-respect, of the present confluence age, and also of your future many times. If you continue to stabilize yourself in any one of those stages of self-respect, then body consciousness will continue to finish. I am a most elevated Brahmin. This is a stage of self-respect. I am a soul out of the entire world who is going to become a master of the world and of Brahmand. This is also a stage of self-respect. In the beginning, you used to have the aim staying beyond the consciousness of being a female, but of being a soul, a male. By stabilizing yourself in the consciousness of a male, the awareness of the female was removed, number-wise according to effort. In the same way, if you have the stage of self-respect of the present and the future, then there will not be any body consciousness. Simply by changing the word self-respect, that is Swaman, your nature, that is Swabhav, also becomes good. There is a conflict of nature when you do not have the awareness of the original stage of one another. So, to have self-respect means to be aware of the original stage. Through this, your body consciousness will finish and you will have no conflict of nature with anyone. As well as this, those who stabilize themselves in the stage of self-respect automatically receive respect. Nowadays, in the world outside also, you receive respect by giving regard. If someone is a president, then because he has great awareness of his position, he also receives regard accordingly. Only through regard will you become a world emperor. The world will then give regard to that one. So, by stabilizing yourself in your original stage of self-respect, you can receive all attainments. Only those who have the experience of all the different stages of self-respect that you were told about will be able to stabilize themselves in this stage of respect, that is, I am a Shiv Shakti. This is also a form of respect. One is to listen and the other is to experience the stage of the original self. So, on the basis of your experience, you can stabilize yourself in your stage of self-respect from having been body conscious. Those who are not the experienced images, those who simply listen to it and continue to practice it, but have not yet become experienced, have this stage. Make a list of the points of your stage of self-respect, and it will be a very long list. Continue to experience each one of these points, and you will not be weak in the little things of Maya. In order to make you weak, Maya first makes you body conscious. If you do not come into body consciousness, how can there be any weakness? Just as you explain, I am a master almighty authority, and just by having that thought, your stage becomes like that. So, continue to remind everyone of their stage of self-respect and make them experienced in that form. However, only those who have this experience will be able to create such a stage. If you do not have this experience, you will not be able to stabilize yourself in that stage, nor will you be able to create your stage. You will experience tiredness and the path to be difficult. How can I do this? This question then arises. However, because of being stabilized in their stage of self-respect, those who are the images of experience will easily be able to pass any difficult tests. So now, remind others of their stage of self-respect. Give classes on becoming the images of total experience. Give those souls who come into close connection and relationship with you the cooperation to experience this. Souls now need this cooperation. Through the Sakar form, there was the service of making you the images of total experience. In the same way, because of their weaknesses and defects, with the cooperation of your powers, make those who are close to you the images of total experience. Check whether the souls for whom you have become instruments have the experience of their stage of self-respect. If not, then you should give them that experience. You have to make this effort. If the souls who are to come close in the kingdom are weak, what will become of the subjects? Such weak souls cannot come into a relationship. So now, prepare your kingdom very quickly. The subjects to come later will be created very quickly. However, those who are to come into connection and relationship with the royal family have to become like this. All souls who are instruments at every center have to pay such attention. Souls who come into your connection should not be deprived of this stage. You have to pay this attention. If you yourself do not have the experience of power in your own self, what power will you be able to give to others? Those souls who desire something come close, give their time, and become cooperative. Such souls cannot receive sustenance through the mother and father anymore, and so they should receive this sustenance from the instrument souls. If you check this, then how many souls would emerge through such powerful souls? There would be at least half the number of souls. Those who have received direct sustenance have the sweetness of their experiences, and so it is essential to give others their sustenance. So each teacher should pay attention to her class. Acha. Om Shanti.